If you want to know if your critically ill loved one in intensive care can have a tracheostomy with motor neuron disease or MND, stay tuned. I've got news for you. My name is Patrick Hutzel from intensivecarehome.com. Today I have an email from Julie who says, "Hi Patrick, I have been fighting for my husband for the last 2 years to have a tracheostomy when the time comes. He has MND, which was diagnosed in January 2021 at the age of 50. He was admitted into the Austin Hospital in Victoria, Australia 3 weeks ago on Tuesday with respiratory failure, pneumonia and subcutaneous emphysema around the right collarbone. In ED, they asked what his choice was, and it has always been medical intervention to survive. They offered a tracheostomy and was escalated to be transferred to ICU up till they called his neurologist. The neurologist cancelled the tracheostomy. He was treated for the pneumonia and pulled through, and the swelling from the subcutaneous emphysema had settled over a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, he seems to have currently relapsed. The subcutaneous emphysema is back as of tonight, now on both sides of the neck, and his oxygen saturation dropped a week ago. No x-rays in the past week to see if his lungs have relapsed with pneumonia, and I will push for it this morning. I've been fighting for him to still be having a tracheostomy in the last 3 weeks. I need to back up that I can get help for him at home with intensive care at home. Currently, I do all his care 24/7. I never leave his side, even when we are at the hospital, and still do his full care here. I have no intention of not being by his side. We're not the normal case of MND in Australia. We are fighting the system and have for the past 2 years. Are you able to help us? From Julie. Julie, I'm very sad to hear what you are going through, and I can reassure you that we can help you because we're helping other MND clients. We've helped with the advocacy for tracheostomy for MND clients, because the reality is if your husband isn't getting the tracheostomy, he's going to die. And what you're not saying in the email, but because I've spoken to you in the meantime, is your husband is on BiPAP, and he can't really be taken off the BiPAP at all, right? And because if he's taken off the BiPAP, he desaturates so quickly that the only way forward here is a tracheostomy, right? He's also got a nasogastric tube, which is also something you're not mentioning in the email, but because I've spoken to you in the meantime, I know that your husband also has a nasogastric tube. He will also need a PEG tube in the long run. Now, you would have heard me say on other videos that I, generally speaking, advocate against the PEG tube. However, like I also have said in many of my videos, the PEG tube is necessary for someone with an irreversible condition, and MND, unfortunately, is irreversible. But to prolong your husband's life, he needs a tracheostomy and a PEG tube, and he needs it fast, right? So for the neurologist or any other doctors to object to a tracheostomy is just inhumane, it's cruel, it's inappropriate, it's probably breaking some laws, because, it comes down to your husband's wishes, and they need to be respected. It comes down to your husband's wishes, it comes down to your wishes, and it's simply inappropriate. And it's inhumane, it's cruel, and it's just ignorant, right? Because our service, intensive care at home, can take care of patients with tracheostomy, with MND and ventilation at home, because we've been doing it for many years for other MND clients in the community. So I just need you to know that this is all possible. And also let me talk about the funding. The NDIS is funding 24-hour nursing care with critical care nurses for MND clients with tracheostomy, right? So this is all possible. The legislation, the NDIS legislation, supports that, because MND is part of one of the disabilities on the NDIS that's being funded. And as long as there is a clinical need and a clinical risk for someone to need 24-hour nursing care with a disability, it needs to be funded. It's as simple as that. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in business if what I was saying wasn't true. But in terms of the advocacy, like I also mentioned to you, Julie, on the phone, I'm very happy to talk to the doctors there at the Austin Hospital to help them with their decision-making, because sometimes even the hospitals don't know enough about our service and the capabilities. I know that a lot of patients at the Austin are coming back to the BRSS because they can't keep their patients at home predictably. And that is very sad. But that's what we do here at Intensive Care at Home. We keep our clients at home predictably so that they don't come back, right? So the next steps here is to get a tracheostomy, a PEG tube for your husband, and then put the funding in place, which I have now seen can be put in place in less than a week, probably even a few days, because we've done it now many times with our NDIS support coordinators, but also with the help of NDIS lawyers who understand legislation inside out, who have helped us and helped our clients, of course, to get the funding secured that is needed for a situation like that with 24-hour critical care nurses, so that your husband can leave intensive care and can improve his quality of life at home. So with all of that said, with intensive care at home, we are sending our critical care nurses into the home 24 hours a day. Therefore, we are providing a genuine alternative to a long-term stay in intensive care for ventilation and tracheostomy. Home BiPAP, home CPAP ventilation without tracheostomy, tracheostomy without ventilation, home TPN, home IV potassium infusions, and home IV magnesium infusions. We're also providing ventilation weaning at home. We're also providing central line management, PICC line management, Hickman's line management, as well as portacath management for home TPN, but also for IV infusions. We're also providing nasogastric tube and PEG tube management at home, as well as palliative care services at home. We're also sending our critical care nurses into the home for emergency department bypass services. We've done so successfully as part of the Western Sydney Local Area Health District, the InTouch program, saving approximately $2,000 per patient that we keep at home instead of going to an emergency department. We're actively making sure that there are empty beds in an emergency department for the patients that most need to be in the emergency department. We're also cutting the cost of an intensive care bed by around 50%. An intensive care bed costs around $5,000 to $6,000 per bed day. Our service costs around 50% of that. We're freeing up the most sought after bed in the hospital, which is the intensive care bed. Most importantly, we're improving the quality of life for patients and their families. So therefore, it's a win-win situation for all stakeholders. And once again, we're actively making sure that there are empty beds in an intensive care unit for the patients that most need to be in intensive care. With intensive care at home, we're currently operating all around Australia, in all major capital cities, as well as in all regional and rural areas. We are an NDIS approved service provider all around Australia, TAC and WorkSafe in Victoria, iCare in New South Wales, NIISQ in Queensland, as well as the Department of Veteran Affairs all around Australia. Our clients and we as a provider have also received funding through public hospitals, private health funds, as well as departments of health. We are the only service provider in Australia that has achieved third-party accreditation for intensive care at home nursing in 2025. We have been achieving this high level of accreditation since 2012. No other provider has achieved this high level of accreditation in the community and has created more intellectual property for intensive care at home nursing than we have. This puts us in a position to employ hundreds of years of critical care nursing experience combined in the community. No other service provider in 2025 employs a higher skill level in the community than we do, which enables us to look after the highest security adults and children in the community in Australia safely. And now, if you're stuck in an ICU bed or you have a family member that's stuck in an ICU bed or in a hospital bed, especially if you're ventilated with a tracheostomy, but also if you're at home already and you're watching this and you realize that you want to go home from ICU, your family member wants to go home from ICU, from a long-term stay in a hospital, and yet you don't have the right level of support for you at home. I'll give you an example today so that you know how we can turn your situation around for you. One of our first clients over 10 years ago was a client who was at home on a ventilator with a tracheostomy with a support worker model 24/7. Of course, support workers cannot look after clients at home on a ventilator with a tracheostomy. Full stop. That is like flying the airplane with the cabin crew instead of the pilot, because anyone on a ventilator with a tracheostomy is at very high risk of medical emergencies or even dying if they don't have critical care nurses looking after them 24/7. This is evidence-based and is documented in the mechanical home ventilation guidelines that you can find on our website. Think about it. In intensive care in a hospital, you wouldn't have support workers to look after critical care patients on ventilators with tracheostomy. So why would anyone in their right mind do that in a home care environment with fewer resources? So eventually, this client in the ICU that he was in found out about us. We were proving our concept with this client very quickly because we have the solution. When we worked with the client, we sent him intensive care nurses 24 hours a day, and he never ever went back into ICU ever again. And we were proving our concept there very, very fast. We can do the same for you if you're not safe in the hospital or at home. That includes the advocacy for funding that goes along with it. We have always successfully advocated for our clients. Otherwise, we would not be in business. And, especially with NDIS, this is also why we're providing now level 2 and level 3 NDIS support coordination. We have a team of designated and dedicated NDIS support coordinators, and they have a wealth of knowledge. I've done an interview with Amanda Riches, one of our NDIS support coordinators, and we'll put a link to an interview with Amanda in the written version of this blog below the video. We're also providing TAC and WorkSafe case management in Victoria with Lucy McCodder. And if you're an NDIS support coordinator or a case manager from another organization watching this and you're looking for nursing care for your participants, please reach out to us as well. If you're looking for funding for nursing care for your participants and you don't know how to go about it and what evidence to provide, I encourage you to reach out to us as well. We can help you with the right level of funding, with the right level of advocacy. We're also providing NDIS specialist nursing assessments done by critical care nurses with a legal nurse consulting background. And if you are a critical care nurse and you're looking for a career change and you want to join a very progressive, dynamic, and high-performing team of critical care nurses in the community, we're employing hundreds of years of critical care nursing experience combined. If you're looking for a career change, we're currently hiring for jobs for critical care nurses in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, in Albury, Wodonga, in Bendigo, in Geelong, and in Warragul, Victoria. If you have worked in critical care nursing for a minimum of 2 years, pediatric ICU, ED, and you have already completed a postgraduate critical care nursing qualification, we will be delighted hearing from you. I have a disclaimer though, because we are offering a tailor-made solutions for our clients, which includes regular staff and regular teams. Our clients do want the same staff coming over and over again because they are so vulnerable and so special, and that's why we need regular staff. So if you're looking for agency work where you can come and go, this will not be the right fit for you. We are looking for consistency, and our clients are looking for consistency. So only apply with us if you can give us regular and consistent availabilities for shifts, and only if you're really keen on building relationships with us and with our clients, and if you think you are ready for a home care environment. And if you are an intensive care specialist or an ED specialist, we also want to hear from you. We're currently expanding our medical team as well. We can also help you eliminate your bed blocks in your ICU and in your EDs for your long-term patients or for your regularly readmitting patients with our critical care nursing team at home. We're here to help you take the pressure off your ICU and ED beds, and in most cases, you won't even pay for it. Even if you do pay for it, it is much more cost-effective than what you're paying for in ICU and ED, and you get the same level of care. And if you're a hospital executive watching this, and you have bed blocks in your ICU, ED, respiratory wards, please reach out to us as well. We can help you there fast. If you're in the US or in the UK and you're watching this and you need help, we want to hear from you as well. We can help you there privately with one-on-one consulting and hiring private nurses. Once again, our website is intensivecareathome.com. Call us on one of the numbers on the top of our website or simply send us an email to info@intensivecareathome.com. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel for regular updates for families with intensive care at home and intensive care. Click the like button, click the notification bell, share this video with your friends and families, and comment below what you want to see next, what questions and insights you have about this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is Patrick Hutzel from intensivecareathome.com, and I will talk to you in a few days. Take care for now.